Hi everyone, it's Jenny Gillen here, and today for mini analysis we're going to do comparison of interpretations. Now I'm sorry I haven't been online and doing a huge amount. I've been doing a lot of other stuff both with home life and with schools, so didn't manage to get as organised as I would like, but to those of you who have young families and know how full on this is, that's my excuse. Oh, and here's Sparky. This is the newest member to our household who's sleeping merrily on my lap. Now, before I go on, just a note that coming up in October, if you go to listeningbeyondhearing.com/events, there are two things coming up, which I have been preparing for. The first is the Twilight Analysis class on Wednesday, the 6th of October, 5 to 6:30. And the second one is the Exam Preparation Workshop, which is Sunday the 7th, 1 till 4 p.m. And you're still in the early bird window. So please come along to those and check it all out. Back to our analysis. Comparison of styles is where you have two different interpretations of the same piece. Now, these sometimes can actually have completely different characters. I had a dear friend of mine who did a version of Jessie's Girl, if anyone knows that. The first one is really, really upbeat and basically goes, "I wish I was Jessie's girl," like that. And my friend did it as a ballad, which was, "I wish I had Jessie's girl." And the effect of that was you just read completely different things into the words. And actually it had quite comic effect, singing it in a sort of ballad style. So this is actually a really tricky thing to actually discuss. And ordering your thoughts is going to help. Please know that when you do these questions, you're not going to be able to necessarily cover everything that you hear, and you're going to feel overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that's required in a question, especially if you're given like three different things like tone, color, articulation, and dynamics, and you have to talk about how each of the different interpretations deal with that. It becomes even more complicated because that's basically 6 things you have to talk about. So what I would suggest is you do 1 point and that 1 point answers with the other side and just work through and leave space so that you can make sure that you're comparing things across, okay? So the opposites here. Here's an example. Let's pretend we have 2 interpretations of Jessie's Girl and the characters are very different. So what I would do first is actually I would line up the character and say what it is. So this one I would say energetic and even joyous. And my friend Trevor's interpretation I would call somber and mournful. Okay, so already I've said the character of this is this, and the character of this is this. The next part of the question is, how is it achieved through the elements of music? Remember, sometimes those elements of music are going to be specified, and other times they're not. If they're not, I would go through the list and pick my strongest one. So I would definitely do tone color, I might do dynamics, and I might do articulation, whatever ones I'm there. So in terms of this here too, I reckon tempo is going to be pretty clear. So the tempo of the first one is going to be fast and lively. Okay, and the tempo of the second one is going to be slower, use of rubato, and pauses at the ends of phrases. The first version is going to have a loud dynamic. And when you do dynamics, make sure you give reasons for that. So it's going to have a loud dynamic, and I would do this. I would set this out as dot points below. So I would say it has a loud dynamic because there's large instrumentation, there's a drum kit, and you could even do this. This is quite clever. Drum, booming, harsh, tone color. And then you've got the drum, booming, harsh, tone color. You've got the vocals, which are a nasal, raspy. And you could even go further and say through, extreme, high register, sung at force. That's going to make your tone color raspy. And so you've got the drums and you've got electric guitar, And the electric guitar is nasal and whiny. And again, through high register, loud dynamic. Okay, so the loud dynamic happens because there's large instrumentation. And here I'm going to say there's a soft dynamic because there's limited instrumentation. And I'm going to say here, can you see how I'm lining up the vocals? So here I'm going to say that the vocals is vocal 1 male, and it is warm and resonant, and through comfortable mid-register. And then all we have is a piano. So I'm going to put the piano next to the guitar because it plays a similar role. So piano, which has a warm, resonant, and bright up the top, tone color, through use of the pedal and long held legato notes, soft dynamic. Okay, so have a look at that there. So I've said that they're opposite. The first one's energetic and joyous. The second one's somber and mournful. I've said the tempo, which is faster or slower. I've said that the dynamic is loud or soft. And I've said the reasons and I've lined them up. Okay, so when you're doing analysis, try and stick with that. Match like with like. And do you see how I'm working from left to right? Yep, match like with like and left to right. Hope to see you at some of the analysis workshops that are coming up and or through Facebook. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.